Hello, and welcome to Covert Castaway. I'm Holly.
Je suis Stéphane.
Join us as we share what we learn and how we're making the transition to liveaboard cruising. Well, we are off the docks in
sunny, warm Croatia.
Yeah, depending on what hour it is, I guess. We made it to Croatia. We finally left the docks off of Porto Montenegro. We have a lot to catch everybody up on because we've skipped a couple weeks. We've been a little bit busy, so this might be a little bit of a longer episode. We decided to stay one more week in Montenegro to take care of a couple more things, and the weather wasn't all that great. It was rainy and it was actually really cold and overcast.
Yeah, and there were some weird winds also in the forecast, so we decided to postpone.
Yeah, I mean it's not that long of a trip. It took us 3 hours to get to Dubrovnik?
No, more like 6.
Oh, 6? Oh, everything's blending together. Yeah. So we made it to Croatia. So what do you think so far?
Well, mostly it's the weather. At this time of the year in May, you will think that everything is kind of nice and sunny and warm.
Well, yesterday was beautiful, for instance.
Yeah,
today it's raining.
You have rain. It's like a few days, and no, we've had some beautiful sunny days, but it's kind of mixed weather. So, but other than that, it's really enjoyable because it's off season. Mm-hmm. Not that many boats around, so the anchorages are mostly just us and a couple other boats. So that's something that we're enjoying right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just to kind of take everybody back a little bit, so we left Porto Montenegro. We checked in Dubrovnik. Mm-hmm. And we stayed at Marina Frappa, which is across from the Immigration Customs dock in Dubrovnik. And we decided to stay there because it was nice right in town. You can walk to everything. And truly, Dubrovnik, you can cover in a couple days. Mm-hmm. We went to the old city. It was really awesome. There's pictures we posted on our Facebook and Instagram pages. And it's really, really cool to see all that. And it was as if we had the entire city to ourselves. Mm-hmm. So that was super awesome.
Yeah,
the pictures are deserted. Like there's no tourists.
I think there were more pigeons than tourists.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely more pigeons.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so it was fun to kind of see all that and take the wall tour. That was awesome. And then we took our bikes up to, what is the name of that bridge? Do you know? I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
The bridge.
The suspension.
Dubrovnik bridge.
Yeah, that was. So we took our bikes and we rode around there. And the Marina Frappa was nice. The jetties were really high. So.
Yeah, Frappa Marina is a little funky. The docks are like high. And so you don't have that much tide, but you still have a little bit of tide. And so your gangway is just on a steep slope to get in and out.
And it's tricky because the dinghy's hanging off the back of the davits. So you want to be far enough away so your dinghy doesn't slam into the jetties, but close enough to where your gangway makes it to the jetty.
Yeah, so have a long gangway. Yeah. I forgot ours is like 240. I forget how long, but we have a pretty long one.
Centimeters?
2 meters.
2 meters.
And I forgot, 40, 60? No, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But we went with a long one. It's definitely useful. When the wind comes from the east, or if it's been blowing kind of more from the northwest, and then first it comes from the west. You have like those katabatic wind, coming, and that makes the marina pretty uncomfortable, and then also if the wind blows more from like the north, it gets into this channel or whatever, and then it goes under the docks. And so
it's a weird, like the marina itself is really nice. It's new, they have these really cool lighting. Everybody's super nice. It's just a weird.
The bathroom, the showers are awesome.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
It's like lots of pressure, hot and raining showers, and everything is good. It's just it's a little funky the way the marina is.
So we stopped at our first anchorage, which is Sapakna. I don't know how you say it, but it was really lovely. It was calm. We ate at a restaurant there. People were really nice. They're just, again, it was maybe us and 2 other boats or something like that. A guy came in after us and was like holding on to a channel marker, thinking it was a mooring or something like that.
We got a little taste of what's coming with charter boats. So even if there were just very few boats, there was. I think they read that if you get a mooring ball in front of the restaurant, then you can. I think it's free as long as you eat at the restaurant. So they came. And yes, in front of the restaurants, there are mooring balls, but they ended up grabbing the first floating thing. And
it was just a marker. It wasn't a...
Yeah, it was like either a channel marker / maybe like during the summer, like maybe you have like small motorboats that are attaching to these.
Yeah, there's no way that thing would have held a
Definitely
boat.
not for a cat. So we look at them doing this, and at one point I'm like, oh, they're really planning to like more to this floating thing.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to explain that, that's probably not a good idea. But
they did move. And then another boat came in. So we were kind of next to this other monohull, and that was all fine. And then another boat came in, and they like squeezed right in between. We were at the restaurant at the time, and so we were watching all this from the restaurant going, oh no, what's going to happen? And they were just super close to both boats. And if any of us swing, we would have at that point hit each other. And so the guy in the monohull's like, you need to go forward. You need to go forward. So the guy goes right in front of his boat and like, right there.
He took like 3 tries. So first time he was probably right about where our anchor was.
Right over our anchor.
So by the time he backs up, like he's close to our boat, then he moves forward. Not enough,
too close
because
to the
now
other
he
boat.
backs out to the other one, and then eventually move forward further.
But the thing is like in that whole bay, he could have anchored anywhere, and like he chose to do that. So
and we've been talking to other people, and they say that's typically what happens. Like if you have 1 or 2 boats anchored,
it's like
in
a
bay,
boat magnet. Like everybody thinks, oh, let's go be by them or something. I don't know. It's
they
really
must
weird.
know something we don't know, and so let's squeeze in there because somewhere else in the bay, it's like there's something like. You shouldn't be there.
Yeah, so we're starting to get a little taste, although I have to say I'm really grateful for there not being, an overwhelming amount of boats, just for my comfort level. You can kind of get a taste for what that's going to be like, but you're not overwhelmed by 4 boats all doing it at once. So I think that's good. So Stefan, for Mother's Day, rowed me in the dinghy to dinner, which was lovely. Thank you, my dear. Mm-hmm. But rowing back was a little cold. So
yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. And we're learning all kinds of things about wind. So in the Med. So all the winds have different names. The Jugo, I think is what they call it, is considered the bad wind. And then there's the Bora, which comes more from the north, right? Northeast.
I don't remember which one is which.
Yeah.
But
there's like 6 or 7 different names for winds. And in addition, there's all the mountains, because it's a beautiful landscape with these huge mountains, but you get the Catabatic, how do you say that word? Catabatic winds?
I think it's, Catabatic.
Catabatic. Oh, okay, I said it right. Winds that kind of come down from the mountain, and sometimes those are actually worse because they're bursts of these winds, and they can get swirly depending on how the
wind
mountains...
accelerates, it goes down, and so you get bigger gusts.
Yeah. So that's interesting, and then then your sister came. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's first time, I guess, where we're getting a guest to meet somewhere where we're cruising, where you have to coordinate between the time of their arrival and your plans and weather. And so that's been interesting because we were in Dubrovnik. That would have been the easiest way to pick her up. We already had spent 3 or 4 nights, and there was definitely plenty for Dubrovnik. So, and then there was good weather window and to go north. So we ended up going to some islands, and we thought, oh, there are ferries everywhere. I mean, you see ferry lines everywhere.
Yeah, we're thinking, oh, no big deal. She can just take a ferry, meet us anywhere.
Yeah, and suddenly what we find out is the season, I don't know if it's regular or it's because it's slower season due to COVID maybe, but most of the lines or many of the lines are opening up this weekend, mid-May basically. So at the time she arrived, we couldn't find a ferry or the ferries that were running, the time was not working. So she ended up making the trip from Paris to our boat in 12 hours in Croatia. She had to take a tramway. She had to take
the airport.
1 tramway and 2 trains to the airport. Then she had to take 2 flights, one to Vienna and then one to Dubrovnik. And we ended up finding her a taxi to go from the Dubrovnik airport all the way to
Panamera?
Something.
Yeah.
And then she took a ferry to cross to Sobra. So at least she was on the same island we were at.
And so the island was Millet?
Yeah. And then there was another taxi to bring her from the ferry terminal there to the town we were at, Lycopolis. And then eventually we picked her in dinghy. So that was a major adventure. But everything
for her,
for her. But everything worked well in the end. So, and then it was sunny and nice. So when she got here, she was definitely very happy.
Yeah. So we met her at this island called Millet. We don't know how to pronounce it. MLJET.
MLJet.
MLJet. Which was really cool. It was. It's a national park, and just the birds and the wildlife and the flowers and, everything was just amazing. The anchorage was amazing. We met a really nice couple.
From France, who've been cruising for the past 5-6 years.
Stefan finds all the French boats and just next thing you know.
With the stand-up paddleboard, it's awesome because you just use the stand-up paddleboard and then if you see somebody, if you see a flag, then you engage the conversation and then
you're so friendly.
It's so nice. That's the one side of cruising that I love.
Yeah.
Meeting interesting people.
Yeah. But you always find French people, even at the restaurant we went to for Mother's Day.
I think mostly the people we've been meeting, it's either from Germany or from France.
Yeah.
So cruising, chartering like in Croatia right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So on this island, we rented some bikes, and you can go in see the park. And we took a little ferry to this other island, which was in a lake. So
an island within an island.
An island within an island, right? Because the Millet is a island, and then you take a ferry to another island called St. Mary's, which is this Benedictine monastery from the 12th century or something like that. It was really cool.
Ferry is a big word.
It's just a little
solar-powered boat that drives you in kind of the lake.
That was nice.
Oh, it was incredible. It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, we took some nice pictures. Those are also posted. And and then we came over here. So now we're at Korčula.
Yeah.
Korčula? I don't know. Our Croatian's terrible. And we are not in the main marina. We're sort of in the local marina next to the main marina. But it's just maybe a 5
in the marina. We're anchored.
We're anchored, right, inside the bay next to the marina. And, we heard on Navali maybe, because apparently it costs always to anchor places in Croatia, which is interesting. It did cost us in Miette, but that was a national.
Yeah, that was for national park. That
Park,
was for
so
the
that
boat.
was fine.
It was 300 kuna, so
Right.
maybe $50 for the boat.
Yeah. So we had anticipated having to pay here at this anchorage, but no one's asked us for money yet.
Yeah, based on all the comments in Navili, people were asked to pay 200 or 300 kuna. So I think the anchorage is great. It's very well protected, and it's very convenient. But
It's
people,
like 5-10 minutes to walk down to the Karchula Old Town.
maybe 15.
Oh, okay.
But people don't like it because they're being charged 200-300 kuna to just anchor, and so there is a problem.
Nobody's
with
asked us so far,
cruisers.
knock on wood. Yeah.
So I think
Are
it's,
we like the only boat now? There
No,
was a
there's a
catamaran
monohull.
before, but now there's
Yeah.
just a monohull.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're here, and then we had a really nice lunch yesterday in the old town there. Apparently, this is where Marco Polo was born, although nobody can validate
when
whether
you
that's
read
true or
stuff
not.
about
You're
it,
not really
it's
sure.
like he started his life here, so I'm not
No one
sure
really knows.
if
It's like
he knows where he was born.
But there's a Marco Polo museum.
There's
There's
everything
his
Marco
house is
Polo.
here. There's Marco Polo Hotel, Marco Polo Restaurant. So anyway, they're going with that as the as the theme for the place. But people are super friendly. We had a great lunch.
That was my first restaurant for my sister since
Yeah,
how
because in
many
Paris,
months?
everything's been completely locked
Yeah.
down. She hasn't been to a restaurant, she said, in 6 months. So she was super happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've just had rain and wind. I think the wind, I got up in the middle of the night because I could hear it, and I was kind of checking on weather and stuff. But it went away after about a half an hour, it seems. And then this morning we had to go, well, yesterday morning we had to go take her to get her PCR test because she had to get tested to leave, and then she has to get retested to re-enter.
Yeah, so for information, if people plan to charter in Croatia, well, the easiest first, get your vaccine because it's so
that's
much
like
easier
the golden
to travel.
ticket. Yeah.
So just to explain the process, if you're chartering a boat in between Dubrovnik and Split, so obviously you can come back to Dubrovnik or probably Split and get tested over there. But if you don't want to add days to your trip while you're cruising in the islands, then you'll need to stop at Korčula Island and you'll make an appointment, pay 650 kuna, and you'll get the result within 24 and to 27 hours. Hopefully. We have to find out today.
So I don't know how many people are traveling to Croatia, but the other thing that I read about Croatia is they're doing digital nomads. So if you're a digital nomad, you can get a 1-year visa, and I think it's you can renew every up to 5 years. So that's kind of an interesting thing. There's other countries that are doing that: Portugal, Spain, in the Med, Croatia, and there's a couple other islands, and then Greece is talking about doing that. So I think that's interesting.
So they're doing these because people are now able to work from home, and they
from
want
wherever,
tourists or long-term tourists, I guess, to come.
Yeah, so that's interesting. On the technical side, you want to talk about some of the things going on the boat?
Nope. After this winter, so we winterized the watermaker. On the way up here, I turned the watermaker back on, following all the instructions.
We made water, whoop whoop.
Yeah,
that was good.
Filled up the tanks, and then you stop the watermaker, and then you do a rinse to rinse the membranes, and then the rinse was not starting. And then I tried to start the watermaker again, and it was not starting. So nothing is starting anymore.
So is the lesson, once you get something running, don't turn it off?
Well, no, you do, but yeah. So now it's troubleshooting the issue. It looks like it's related to the control board. So all the major parts, like the pump and stuff, seems to be working. So we're going to have to figure out a way with the watermaker company how we can get somebody to come and replace this control board. So right now I'm not sure. We told them we're going to go to Split next week. They don't have local people, but they work with some technicians. So, but right now I don't know how that's going to be coordinated. Meanwhile, they sent some instructions how we can bypass the control board to basically manually start and rinse the water maker. So
have you tried that yet?
No, I have to read those instructions and see how we can try that.
Yeah. And then the other thing we're working on is the bridle setup and the mooring setup, right? You're making some changes there.
Yeah, well, the mooring, we haven't done any mooring yet, but we have a system that I feel pretty good about because we had added inside cleats inside the hulls. And it's kind of double usage for that. When you're at a marina for the winter, so obviously you can bring lines to the cleats on top of the bow. But if you add some cleats inside, then you can add 2 more lines.
Yeah.
Because the catamaran takes the space of 2 monohulls, so you can use 4 lines on the bow.
Which came in handy in Porto Montenegro with
you
winds.
get strong winds, and so during the winter we had basically 4 lines on the bow.
On the front, yeah.
So we're going to be able to reuse those cleats for our mooring process. The other thing we did is we added kind of a fairlead. I think we talked about this, that we screwed on top of the beam. Because, I don't know, catamarans are not designed to attach mooring balls. To mooring balls, the lines are either going to be rubbing against the front beam, or you go outside and it's going to be rubbing against the gel coat. And so right now, the way we're going to do it is we're going to use the inside cleat with a line that'll go to the mooring ball. We ended up buying the Mantis shackle or mooring shackle, I forgot how they call it. And then we'll come back through those fair leads and hook up to the cleats on top. So that's for the mooring process. We'll have to try that. But we have long lines, 25 meters. We'll be able to adjust the length and everything. So I feel pretty good about that. The bridle, we still have the original FP bridle. So it's just basically 2 lines. And this flimsy kind of shackle, everybody ends up replacing it. So far last year, we haven't had any problem.
And then the first time we used it, we had a problem.
And well, we anchored, we did everything worked fine, and then we raising the anchor or raising the chain, and so the bridle just comes up, and then the shackle just
fell off right as we were pulling it up, which is super. I mean, it was lucky timing. Really?
Yes, and it was lucky that it was light wind during that night, but it basically got bent, which I don't understand how it got bent. So we now we're using Dyneema loop. 2
of them.
Well, it's on one, but we're adding a second one as a backup. But so far, the Dyneema loop is working really well.
But it's this really weird feeling, because you're like, okay, I'm going to have this stainless steel, like industrial strength shackle, and then that doesn't work, and you're using this like little piece of line.
Yeah.
And it feels like really weird, like, wow, this whole boat is on this little line.
Backing up with like 2,000 RPM
on this little line, yeah.
And then you're like, well, okay. I mean, it's strong, but yeah. So, but in the end, we're going to replace the whole system with the Mantis bridle that we've ordered. So that'll be our new process. Yeah.
So from here, what we're gonna do is sort of make our way up to Split, and we have found a catamaran person. His name's Nick Hathaway. He's from 45 Degrees Sailing. He and his wife charter, basically skipper and offer charters in the Croatia area, but he's also an instructor. So we're going to spend 2 days with him, which I'm excited about, to figure out a little bit more about stern anchoring. What else are we going to, just kind of techniques for
tying up to shore.
Yeah, things like this that we're not really familiar with.
Yeah, what people use in the med.
Yeah.
And so we'll spend 2 days to practice this, and more important, to agree on a process between the two of us.
Right.
Not only on the process, but also on the communication.
Communication, yeah.
So we think that's going to be 2 days well spent. That will hopefully save.
We'll have some kind of
and-
best practices that we'll both be trained on properly, and not sort of wondering if it's the right thing to do or not. I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, the improvements that we've made this year already is the brake for the wheel has been.
Oh my gosh, it's a game changer.
Yeah, because now you can get out of the helm station. You have better visibility. The headsets
are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely helped.
So those two things already makes the communication and the process of anchoring.
Well, the
much
communication is better, but also it's like the tone is just more calm, because we can both just speak normally. You're not shouting, and then
because
you feel
there is no urgency.
Yeah.
You're talking continuously.
Yeah.
And as opposed to
it's completely changed the tone.
somebody's at the helm, somebody's forward.
What?
You have the
I don't
tent.
hear you.
And then,
It gets stressful.
yeah, and you can have your head doing whatever you need, as
Yeah.
opposed to turn your head back to the person
Right.
to talk so they can hear you. So you can keep doing what
Yeah.
you're doing. No, it's yeah.
To me, maybe it's just mental, but it's completely changed things.
If you get you starting, get those
the
headsets. If you cannot find them in Europe for whatever reason,
No,
so
we had to buy them when we went back home.
Yeah, get those. Make sure most both have a brake for the wheel, but if you don't have one, just get it replaced. Mm-hmm. And then probably take some lessons to coordinate the process between you and your spouse.
And then I think just finally, we're learning about trying to get things sent and ordered, like simple things. Like we forgot to get the Predict Win SIM cards before we left. So we're like, oh, okay, we'll just have them sent. And then they got sent back to our house in Tahoe by accident. And then
maybe that was my mistake.
It's okay. I mean,
we were
things
doing,
happen,
like, 4 things.
And then we're like, okay, where do we send it? And then by the time they were moving, and so then we were going to have them sent to Nick, and because we're going to meet him here, and then they're trying to deliver it, but it's the wrong name. Or
what I remember now is when I was in France, so earlier last year, like in the US, you order, they drop the package at your house.
Yeah.
It's easy. In Europe, it's like they want somebody to be there
to sign for it.
They don't drop the package in front of the door.
And they didn't see your name on the doorbell or something. So then they were going to like put it back through in their warehouse or whatever. And I called and I tried to talk to somebody, and they could only speak Croatian. And so I had to call. Anyway, it's just sort of really inconvenient. And now our SIM cards, which cost a total of $20, are somewhere stuck in customs because they want all of this detailed information about it. So, so leave with everything you need, or make sure it's something you can buy here. But there are some weird things we can't get. You wanted to order the stern line
like a strap webbing type thing that is a floating line, so you can more easily swim with it to shore, to tie to shore. So that's it's not obviously common in the US. You can find it, but it's super expensive. I forgot the brand.
And we couldn't find it anywhere in Porto.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot in Porto to begin with.
Yeah, you can get it ordered and stuff, but we ended up get it shipped again
we'll see.
to split. So that arrived, or I forgot.
I don't know. We don't know what we're going to get. We ordered stuff, and then we were kind of crossing our fingers. Let's see. Yeah, so I think that catches everybody up to where we are. It's been fun, right? Like, I mean, it's been really fun for me to be on the boat. It was a transition at first. The weather's starting to get better, but I will say that I'm still kind of have some work lingering things that are not compatible with this, I think, lifestyle at all. I think trying to figure out, schedules and stuff. You just can't have a schedule when you're on a boat, I think.
Yeah, and we're lucky here. There's good like reception with like SIM cards we use, and it's pretty.
The Wi-Fi's good.
It's like how much is a SIM card for a week? Like $12.
$12 or something.
$12 unlimited.
Yeah, Porto it was like $15 for the whole month.
For 500 gigabytes in Montenegro. So that was super, super cheap. But even Croatia,
it's worth it.
So, and there's been good reception in every anchorage we've been at so far. So
yeah, everything's worked out.
So that's great.
Just the scheduling thing, it's just not, So I'll be wrapping some of those things up, and that'll be a lot better, I think. And so we would love to hear any questions or topics you guys want us to cover. You can send us an email on sailingawen@gmail.com. We would also, if you like this podcast, we would love to get your review on whatever podcast application you use. And if you don't want to give us a good review, we would rather you give us some feedback on how we can make it better so we can earn your good review, if that would be okay with you. So again, send us an email at sailingawen@gmail.com. You can also check out our photos that we post on Instagram, Sailing Awen, and our Facebook page. So until next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, like, or share with another covert castaway. Fair winds for now.